What if the next time you open Chrome, you aren't actually the one doing the browsing?
Right, which sounds a little crazy, but it's where we're at. Sometime in the very near future, the primary visitor to a website will not be a human being at all.
Yeah, it's going to be your web browser itself,
Yeah.
just, acting completely on your behalf.
Exactly.
So for you listening, I want you to just imagine looking at a screen, typing a single sentence, and then watching as your browser autonomously navigates like 3 different airline sites.
It compares the hotel options, reads the local restaurant menus, and builds a complete itinerary.
Well, you just sit back with your coffee and watch it happen. It's wild.
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a complete inversion of how we have interacted with the internet since the 1990s.
Right.
We are looking at a fundamental shift in human-computer interaction here. We're moving away from this whole era of, just finding information.
And stepping directly into an era of delegating tasks.
Yes, exactly.
And so that is our mission for today's deep dive. We are exploring the massive 2026 Gemini and Chrome update.
The big one.
The big one, yeah, because Google is essentially transforming the world's most popular web browser from a passive tool into a proactive, autonomous companion.
Which is a huge leap. For decades, the browser has basically been a window, right? You look through it, you find a destination, and then you do the actual work.
Yeah, you're the one clicking and dragging.
Right. But now we're shifting from an internet of destinations you visit to an internet of services your browser negotiates with for you.
I love that phrasing. And the scale of this shift,
Yeah.
honestly, it cannot be overstated. Google is calling this the agentic web.
Yes, the agentic web. And it is not just a neat little add-on or, a search bar upgrade.
Well, it's way bigger than that.
It's an architectural reimagining of the browser. The browser is no longer just rendering HTML so your eyes can read it. It is interpreting that HTML so it can take actions on its own.
Okay, so to really understand how this agentic web functions, we have to look at the immediate problem it's trying to solve.
The burnout.
Yes, the profound cognitive exhaustion of the modern internet. I mean, think about it. If you are researching a purchase or planning a project right now, you probably have, 15 tabs open?
At least 15.
Right. And you are constantly bouncing between them, losing your place, copying text from one window to paste into another. It's just a massive drain on your working memory.
It really is. And the environment where the AI lives matters just as much as the AI itself in solving this.
Right, because Gemini 3 is now integrated natively into Chrome desktop platforms. So it's Windows, Mac, and Chromebook Plus.
With the mobile rollouts planned for later, yeah.
Exactly. And they've centralized this intelligence into what they're calling the side panel,
Which is key. It opens up directly adjacent to whatever active page you're currently viewing.
meaning you never have to break your visual context. You don't have to open a new tab to access a chatbot anymore.
Nope. You can be staring at a really dense, jargon-filled academic paper, right? And just type into the side panel, explain this complex article like I'm 10.
And the AI already knows what you're looking at.
Exactly, because it has access to the active tab's memory state. It is reading the context in real time.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you have a massive forum thread with hundreds of replies, the browser just generates a smart summary of the entire discussion.
Or like if you're shopping for a new vacuum cleaner
Yeah.
and you have 2 different models open in 2 different tabs.
Oh, this is the best part. The browser can natively compare those open tabs side by side. It literally pulls the specific specifications from both pages and builds a pros and cons matrix right there in the panel.
Which is just, the data on this efficiency is significant. The human-computer interaction studies we looked at suggest that these specific types of summarization and, repetitive task automation can increase user efficiency by 20 to 40%.
And that 20 to 40% represents a massive reclamation of human time.
Absolutely.
Because context switching, the act of moving from tab to tab, finding the relevant paragraph, holding it in your short-term memory, and then comparing it to another tab.
It's exhausting.
It's notoriously hard on the human brain. By eliminating that friction, the browser frees up your cognitive load so you can actually focus on decision-making rather than data gathering.
Okay, wait. Let me push back on that for a second, though.
Sure.
If the browser is doing all the summarizing for us, down to these neat little pros and cons matrices, aren't we mathematically stripping out all the nuance?
That is a very valid concern.
Right. Like, who decides what the AI thinks is important? If I ask it to summarize a long-form article into 5 bullet points, it's making a mathematical decision based on its training weights.
Yeah.
We lose the author's voice,
Yeah.
the subtle caveats, the underlying tone, everything that makes human writing, human.
And that is the inherent danger of summarization as a utility. It is always an act of reduction.
Always.
The efficiency gains are undeniable when you are doing comparative shopping or, reading a dry technical manual.
I don't need nuance for a vacuum cleaner spec sheet.
Exactly. But you have to be incredibly intentional about when you deploy this. Letting Gemini summarize a beautifully written essay or a highly nuanced legal contract where every single clause holds specific weight.
Oh, that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
It could lead to massive blind spots. The tool is designed to eliminate cognitive overload, but if you as the user aren't careful, it will also eliminate your critical thinking.
Yeah, so it's a tool for navigation, not a replacement for comprehension.
Very well put.
But, okay, summarizing those 15 tabs is great, but it still leaves the actual work, the clicking, the typing, the buying on your shoulders.
Until now.
Right. And that is the friction this update attempts to solve next with autonomous action.
This is the threshold where we move from a smart browser to a truly agentic browser.
So let's talk about the crown jewel of this update. It's a feature called Auto Browse.
Yes, auto browse.
This is where the browser navigates sites on its own. Like it can go into an online store and fill your shopping cart.
It can go to a real estate website and filter apartment searches by highly specific criteria.
Right, like finding a two-bedroom under a certain price that allows dogs and has in-unit laundry.
It can book dinner reservations based on your availability.
You can even autofill complex multi-page web forms using information it pulls directly from a saved PDF. I mean, how does it actually execute this?
It's fascinating, actually. It is not just mimicking your mouse movements or guessing where a button might be.
Okay.
Auto Browse reads the underlying document object model.
The DOM.
Right, the structural HTML code of the website. It identifies the functional elements, maps out a step-by-step execution plan, and injects commands directly into the page's structure to navigate, click, and type.
So think of traditional browsing like driving a manual car.
Okay.
You are looking at the road signs. You are shifting every gear. You are physically turning the wheel. Auto Browse is putting the browser on autopilot.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Thanks. It uses the website's code like sensors to navigate the track while you just input the final destination.
And this capability expands exponentially because of its native integration into Google Workspace.
Right, because it's not just siloed in Chrome.
Exactly. Auto Browse isn't just interacting with random websites. It is deeply connected to your Gmail, your calendar, maps, and YouTube.
So how does that look in practice?
Well, the agent can read an incoming email from a colleague suggesting a few times to meet.
Okay.
It cross-references those times with your calendar, finds the open slot, generates a response, and automatically schedules the meeting block.
That is wild. I mean, currently, Auto Browse is in preview for Google AI Pro and Ultra subscribers in the US. But honestly, having an AI automatically schedule my day or put things in a shopping cart feels risky.
It requires a lot of trust.
Yeah, it's like hiring a highly capable intern who never sleeps. You can hand them a PDF and say, go fill out these 10 applications, and they do it.
Right.
But you wouldn't let a brand new intern just spend your money or sign a legally binding form without your final sign-off.
Which is exactly why the architecture of the agentic web relies heavily on human checkpoints.
Okay, so there are guardrails.
Strong ones. Autonomous action requires trust, and trust requires strict boundaries. The safety guardrails built into Auto Browse require explicit user confirmation before executing any sensitive actions.
So what does that mean if I'm, say, buying groceries?
It might navigate the grocery store site, select the exact items you requested, and fill your cart, but it will stage that action and stop.
It waits.
It waits for your human fingerprint or your physical click of approval before it actually processes any payment or finalizes a booking.
Okay, so it does all the legwork and presents a ready-to-execute package, but I still have to actually pull the trigger.
Precisely. It navigates the chaotic, user-hostile interfaces of the modern web so you don't have to, but you remain the final authority.
Okay, I like that. So we have the browser summarizing our tabs and acting as this digital intern to fill forms and book meetings. But Gemini isn't just taking over administrative chores.
No, it's going much further.
Right, the update expands the browser's utility into a creative suite and a security protocol, which completely collapses the boundaries between different applications.
And this really highlights how multimodal these AI models have become.
Multimodal meaning?
Meaning the AI isn't just reading and outputting text. It is processing text, vision, and code simultaneously within the browser's memory.
Which brings us to a feature brilliantly named Nano Banana.
I know, the name is a choice.
It's memorable, I'll give them that. So Nano Banana is an in-browser image editing tool driven entirely by text prompts.
Yes.
So if you're reading an article and there's a photo, you can tell Nano Banana to, quote, convert this photo into an infographic style.
Without downloading anything.
Exactly. You don't download the image. You don't open a separate photo editing application like Photoshop. You don't even open a new tab. You just manipulate the image right there on the page.
And historically, human-computer interaction has been heavily compartmentalized. You use a web browser to find an image.
Right.
You use a desktop application to edit that image. You use an email client to send it. Every single transition between those applications introduces friction.
It slows you down.
Exactly. By bringing multimodal processing directly to your cursor, Google is collapsing those compartments. The web browser stops being just a viewer and starts acting like the entire operating system for your digital life.
But is it overkill? I mean, do people really need a Photoshop-light experience while casually reading an article? Or is Google just kind of flexing its multimodal AI muscles here?
It's a fair question, but it goes back to eliminating that friction. It's about never breaching your workflow.
I see. They're also introducing skills, which basically function as saved one-click prompts for repetitive tasks.
These are great.
Yeah, so if your workflow requires you to constantly reformat blocks of text for a newsletter, you build a skill once and then execute it instantly with one click whenever you need it.
Super efficient.
Plus, they've integrated an AI mode directly into the Omnibox, the address bar, for running highly complex, multivariable searches without ever navigating to a search engine's homepage first.
But you know, the most quietly revolutionary application of this agentic technology?
Oh, it's a security update.
Yes, the security update regarding compromised passwords.
Right, because we have all experienced that moment of panic.
Yeah.
You get a pop-up warning that a password you use was found in a data breach.
It's the worst feeling.
And the traditional fix is agonizing. You have to click the link, try to remember your old login, navigate some obscure website security settings.
Which are always buried.
Always. Generate a new password, type it in twice, and update your password manager. But this 2026 update introduces an automatic change feature.
It is the perfect distillation of agentic AI applied to cybersecurity. Well, instead of just warning you that your house is unlocked, the system actually locks the door for you. It detects the breach, navigates to the specific website's password change portal, generates a secure new credential, negotiates the site's security protocols to update it, and saves the new password in your browser's manager, all completely autonomously.
Okay, changing my password automatically sounds incredibly convenient. But frankly, letting an AI autonomously generate and overwrite my security credentials without my direct oversight makes my palms sweat a little.
I don't blame you.
I mean, it requires a massive leap of faith in the underlying technology.
And that skepticism is exactly the right instinct. A frictionless experience sounds incredible, but a browser that reads your articles, compares your shopping carts, edits your photos, schedules your meetings, and changes your passwords.
It inherently needs to know absolutely everything about what you are doing.
Exactly, everything.
Which brings us to the hidden costs of the agentic web. The currency you pay for a frictionless digital experience is total visibility into your digital life.
That's the trade-off.
For Gemini to be this proactive, it requires your tab context. It reads the URLs you are visiting, the text you highlight, the PDFs you ask it to process. It's kind of like inviting a world-class chef to live in your kitchen.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Right. Like, sure, the meals are incredible and they save you hours of cooking time, but the chef is also watching every single thing you eat and taking up a massive amount of counter space.
That is a very apt comparison. Now, Google does offer user controls. You can pause the AI, you can delete your history, and you can restrict the AI from using your specific data to train its future models.
Let's be real.
Right. We have to look at the reality of user behavior. The vast majority of people never change the default settings.
Never.
Independent cybersecurity audits and studies already show that Gemini collects more categories of data than some of its competitors.
And when your browser functions as an autonomous agent, it isn't just seeing what you search for anymore.
No, it is seeing how you act. It sees what you prioritize, the specific parameters of your apartment hunt, and exactly how you spend your money.
And beyond the privacy cost, there is a literal, physical computing cost to this much convenience. There is a massive difference between cloud inferencing, where Google's huge server farms do the heavy lifting, and local inferencing.
Yes, the hardware cost is very real. Running advanced on-device AI models like Gemini 3 locally is often touted as a privacy benefit,
Now
Raman.
here's because your data theoretically doesn't have to leave your machine to be processed.
Exactly. But the hardware reality is severe. Parsing HTML code, summarizing hundreds of forum posts, and running multimodal image editing locally consumes significant RAM and CPU power.
Oh, I bet.
If you're running an older laptop or a budget machine, forcing it to run these local operations will severely throttle your system's performance. The cost of keeping your data local is the massive resource drain on your hardware.
So you're stuck in a hard place. You are either sacrificing your data to the cloud for speed or sacrificing your computer's processing power to maintain privacy.
That's the current reality, yeah.
And zooming out even further, if an AI can efficiently manage calendars, parse complex travel requirements, and fill out endless administrative forms, there will be macroeconomic impacts on administrative workflows.
Job displacement, essentially.
Right. Furthermore, if Google provides the browser, the AI, the email client, the calendar, and the video platform, and they all talk to each other seamlessly, it massively strengthens their ecosystem lock-in.
It creates an environment so frictionless and deeply integrated that it becomes almost impossible for a user to extract themselves and switch to a competitor.
You are trading visibility and market autonomy for sheer efficiency.
And that is a transaction you need to make with your eyes wide open. You need to treat this AI agent like you would treat a brilliant but highly invasive assistant.
So what's the actionable advice here for the listener?
You must actively manage your privacy settings rather than blindly accepting the default.
Number one rule.
Number one rule. You have to verify its summaries, especially for sensitive or critical information. And you have to be incredibly cautious about what personal or financial data you allow it to access autonomously.
Yeah, but at the same time, don't let the scale of this update totally overwhelm you. The smartest way forward is to just start by experimenting with the free basic features first.
Tip your toes in.
Exactly. Dive into the side panel. Ask it to summarize a long, dry article you've been putting off reading to see how much nuance it actually strips away. Try out the Nano Banana image editing on a casual photo.
Test auto browse on a simple task, like building a shopping cart, but stop before the payment phase.
Right. See what tasks you actually enjoy delegating to the machine and which ones you would rather maintain control over. Just, discover your own comfort zone.
It is entirely about finding the balance between leveraging the machine's capabilities and maintaining your own autonomy. But as we fully transition into this era of the agentic web, the architectural implications raise a really important question.
They do. And this is something we really want to leave you with today. If human beings are no longer the ones doing the actual browsing,
If we aren't the ones reading the text, comparing the pricing tables, or clicking through the checkout forms,
right, how will that fundamentally change the way the internet is built? If AI agents like Gemini's auto browse become the primary visitors to websites, will the internet of tomorrow be designed for machines rather than for us?
it's a huge shift to consider. Will the visual art of web design, the colors, the layouts, the intuitive buttons, simply vanish because an AI only cares about parsing the raw HTML data?
We started this deep dive talking about you staring at 15 chaotic tabs trying to plan a trip. But maybe in a few years, those tabs won't even have an interface for human eyes.
They will just be raw code waiting for your digital agent to negotiate with them.
Definitely something to think about the next time you open your browser.